All right, looks like we got a few people here. So I just want to welcome everyone to the blind map tournament. It might be the first of several, or it might be the only one that ever happens. But I just wanted to run a quick Swiss tournament with the AI scripters community. For those of you who don't know, for like the first 10, 15 years or so of the AI scripters community, most of the tournaments that were run were with a Swiss format, which is meaning that all the AIs are assigned the opponent with a near even score and aren't eliminated. So I kind of wanted to bring that back for this tournament. So you can see that we have 20 different participants, and they've all been given a seed according to the tournament standings ELO spreadsheet that we've recently gathered together, the history of all of our AI scripting tournaments. And so each of these AIs have been pit against each other. Then we're going to start with Tribal Warrior versus Sederhana. And I actually haven't seen Sederhana play before, so this will be the first time that we get to see this AI play. This is by a scripter named Krupuk from the AI Scripters forums and the Scripture, so it'll be exciting to see them play. So you'll notice that how the matches will go is we'll start with one game on Arabia and then another game on Arena. And each game, if an AI has two different civs, I'll randomly pick one of these civs for the... And so in this case, Tribal will either play Maya or Malay, and Sederhana will either play Vikings or Aztecs. And then once that game is finished, Arena will be played. Sederhana will play random, and Tribal will either play Cumans or Slavs. And then for winning a game outright, you get 4 points. A tie is worth 2 points. If you mostly won a game but reach the time limit, then you get 3. If you lose, you get 0. So that's how this scoring will work. So, not too complicated. Let's get started here. Let's switch over to the game. Let's get the Tribal Warrior here. I've already got their civ set up. Let's record the game. Double checking all the settings here are correct. Alright, I think we should be all set up to go. And if there's any volume issues, let me know. I'm going to have a little bit of background music here today. Let's switch over to Capture Age. Alright, we've got Capture Age set up. Let's zoom out here. Let's get some players set up. Alright, and we're off. So I think many of you are familiar with Tribal Warrior, one of the AIs that's been around for like the last 10 years or so. Scripted by Esty. Often goes for a skirmisher rush. We'll see if it does that this game. The Mayans might also bring in some archers. I'm curious to see what Sederhana does. So we got a mill next to the berries for Sederhana. Bringing in the cows. And it looks like we got a deer map, so we might see some deer luring. Yeah, I see your note, Elias. I'll get that fixed in the spreadsheet for the civs in just a second here. Okay, so we got some deer luring from Tribal. Let's take a look at the maps here. Also got some bringing in a boar here. second boar for Tribal, I believe. And got a mill going up. So this is on the current Arabia. Got a decent number of forests around, but I don't think the AIs will be using that much to wall up. We got some forward berries for Tribal, but some back gold, which will be nice. The stone is pretty safe. And then for Sederhana, we got a forward gold, so Tribal could take advantage of that. The berries in the back, though, those will be safe. And looks like we got a lumber camp off to the side, which should be pretty safe, pretty close to the TC. And Tribal's lumber camp is built near the back, so that'll be nice and safe for Tribal. So we can look at a little bit of statistics. Idle TCs, not too bad for either AI. Eco's looking about the same, but Tribal has a lot more resources gathered. That's probably due to a little bit more efficient gathering and having a lot of time to develop and look for a little bit of efficiencies where it can get them. We're seeing a little bit of the characteristic AIs putting too many foragers are collecting berries. It's not much. It's hard to do anything about that. AIs really like gathering from forage bushes. That's kind of a higher priority usually than other things like hunting deer, for example. So we see Tribal got to gather any berries because pushing in the deer. And still got some cows that are left to gather from. We got a few farms from Tribal, and Sederhana's also putting up some farms. And so we have a pretty big eco difference right here. Tribal gathering already like 300 resources ahead. Looks like Tribal's going up to feudal pretty soon. I wonder how much of that is due to the Mayans eco bonus. Something that's not really known, I think, is that the resources lasting longer also improves the gather rate, except for farming. That's kind of been... I'm trying to remember the details of how that's implemented. I think basically what happens is that the villager work rate is sped up to some degree. I'd have to take a look again. Yeah, Mr. Elephant, no chickens in this map, but I'm pretty sure we'll see them soon. I think there's a 50-50 chance in both Arabia and Arena. That's the main reason I chose these two maps for this tournament, is these are the two maps that, at least for now, have the chickens on them. There might be a few others, but those are the two main ones. They're also the two main maps for just most Age of Empires 2 games. So we have Tribal went up at 25 pop, and Sederhana still has 29 pop and hasn't gone up yet. But should be going up pretty soon. Sederhana has the buildings for it, but still training villagers. Maybe Sederhana is going for Fast Castle. Alright, so we got a little bit of action here. Tribal's Eagle going for the mill. Let's see. Nope, okay. Was about to go for villagers, but went away from the TC, which is nice and good. Looks like Sederhana's found Tribal. Will Tribal garrison the TC? Oh, we got some skirmishers. Yep, so Tribal going for the good old skirmisher rush. Yeah, so it does look like we have a second mill for Sederhana, which is Sederhana's going up to feudal now at 32 pop. Got a little bamboo inside of oak forest trees. I think that eagle might be going down, but it's idling a lot of villagers in the process. We got some skirmishers coming forward. Those gold miners are going to be pretty vulnerable here. Let's see if they get targeted. Things looking pretty smooth here at home. Tribal add in a spear. Alright, Sederhana's up to feudal. And so far, just farmers being idled by those skirmishers. They've got no upgrades yet. And blacksmith only coming up right now for tribal. Looks like Sederhana has a barracks coming up. Nice and safe, but infantry are not going to do much against skirmishers right now. We'll see if Sederhana adds military and defense. We got a bear attacking the skirmishers. Yeah, this is probably, I don't know if tribal will, if it has code to attack wild animals or not. I forget if the bug was fixed where sometimes a remote search will not find wolf units. That might be happening here and might not. I feel like it might have been fixed, but maybe it's still in the game. Looks like Sederhana's been trying to build a mining camp here, but that might not go up very soon. The skirmishers, oh, there we go. I guess. Alright, blacksmith is, this one might go up here. This is where something like place control and move it back away from the TC when you're in defense, I think is something that's pretty effective. Just set the placement data maybe like 5 tiles, like -5, and then I'll place it 5, like the center of the placement's gonna be like 5 tiles further back from the TC. And we got a second blacksmith coming up, so I don't know if that's a scripting issue here. We also got an archer range coming. That makes me wonder if like the new building placement system is that strategic numbers turned on. If so, might want to Kripuk might want to add a UP pending objects condition to make sure that there's no blacksmiths pending before ordering the blacksmith to get placed. So as a reminder, any scripters that's in this tournament, because like bugs always seem to come up from time to time. If there's a bug that you notice happening during any of your games, there is a chance to submit updates until the start of the second round. So I think mostly that's intended to like fix bugs. So I probably wouldn't try to add any big features to your AI between round 1 and round 2, and it's kind of against the spirit of the tournament to add all like brand new things. But definitely want to have the opportunity to fix some bugs, because it's never fun to see a bugged AI play during the whole tournament with that bug in it. So we got a ton of skirmishers here. And I would say it might be time for tribal to get up to Castle Age. No real need to have more skirmishers than this. Looks like we got a second lumber camp. This one's pretty safe for Sederhana. No military for Sederhana yet, but going up to Castle Age. Maybe Sederhana will add some Castle Age upgrades. Crossbows or eagles. Let's see what happens here. But right now we got 12 villagers killed by tribal, or 11 villagers killed, and lost 3 skirmishers. Yeah, building type count, that's also a possibility. I haven't read the AI script yet. Alright, so we got a market coming up for Sederhana. Also got a monastery. The monastery should go up, I think. Alright, it went up. And the market... Okay, we got a university coming up here, but the archer's going to deny it, I think. Got a siege workshop coming up, and then the university coming up over here. Alright, tribal going up for Castle Age, got gold mining. What upgrades are we at now? Alright, so we got +1 and +1 for the skirmishers. So I think this university to go up, but still not seeing any military response from Sederhana yet. Unfortunately, I think with this first round, this might be the round where we see the most unbalanced games. Each of the matches have been scheduled according to seeds, so the highest seed will be playing against AIs with the lowest seed. So Tribal, which is seed 2, are going against Sederhana, which this is Sederhana's first tournament, so we got seed 19. Might be seeing a few matches like this early on in the tournament, but by the time we get to round 3, 4, and 5, we'll see a lot of the top AIs facing off against each other, and the less experienced AIs like Sederhana might be finding opponents that are a bit closer to their skill level. We also got a group of archers here from Tribal, which I don't think they're going to find a lot of villagers going this way. At this point, I think Siege is the next play for Tribal to go for. We got the big eco advantage. Already killed 34 villagers. So just time to knock down that TC, I think. We got a Siege Workshop from Tribal. And up to... So Tribal's still going for aggressive military approach. Only up to 55 villagers right now. But we got a second TC. I think it's just... Let's see, does this work? Yeah, 2 TCs for Tribal right now. 2 ranges. Alright, so we got a couple of rams from Tribal. Those might go forward. Yeah, I was just looking at the chat. Yeah, I'm interested to see how this AI will do on Arena. They'll probably get a stronger chance than Arabia, which is pretty open. Alright, Rams running forward. Rams faster than they used to be like a year ago. Yeah, it looks like in the upcoming patch, the Captain Siege Rams will lose some of their negative melee armor, which will be nice for Rams. I'm interested to see how that might affect AI's like Villager Micro to knock down Rams. I think it'll still be effective, but it might not be as effective as it used to be. Alright, TC is knocked down. Down to 3 pop for Sederhana. I'm not sure what the resign rules they are. I'm going to speed up the game. Got a 4th TC coming up for Tribal. Not really needed at this point. Yeah, I think I'll call it here. Good game. First game of the tournament. So we'll take a look at the stats here. So, military, you can see Tribal getting ahead in the economy. Villagers. Switch over to the DE stats for anyone to see. Alright, now time for arena. Alright, let's switch over back to the bracket to see what the civs were. I'm going to take a look at Elias, so Corleone. Let me switch the Goths over to Saracens right now before I forget. Alright, so Tribal plays Cumans and Slavs. But first, let's add some points here. All right, so Cumans and Slavs for Tribal. And then for Sederhana, we've got full random. So I'm going to double check here to see if random includes all of the DLC civs. So it looks like Sederhana is random, but only for the Conqueror civs. I'll do this before, let's see. All right, 17. So that would be Turks. Not a bad civ to go with for arena. So yeah, I could star all 18 Conqueror civs, but that seemed like more work than I wanted to do. That's probably what I'll do for the next games, though, unless I decide to randomize a civ before the stream. Alright, so we got everything else set up here. Let's get started. Alright, here we go. Got arena. So looks like Sederhana we've got here on the left. We got a chicken arena. We'll see how Sederhana does with those, see if it goes for a second mill. So we got a mill first, before the lumber camp. We got all of the sheep gathered by the TC. So Sederhana looks like it's got a little bit of an area in the back that they can go and build safely. But not a lot of resources back there. We just got 2 gold piles and a stone. We got the main gold in the back, which would be nice. The second one here you could grab if things get... Maybe grab this one first in case things get dangerous. But overall should be pretty safe. We got some gold and stone right outside the walls. And let's take a look at Tribal. It looks like it's pretty much exactly mirror image reflection. So we got chickens in the back instead for Tribal. The Tribal going for a lumber camp. And this time we got the main gold in front and small gold in the back, with stone out to the side. So we got a second forest that Tribal can go for if needed. Some neutral chickens, and then the gold and stone outside the walls. Yeah, so we got Tribal going with Keymans. And I don't know if I guess I haven't played a lot of Keymans games. I haven't really seen these stone walls before. Let's see, and Sederhana, we got Turks. And then looking at relics, I don't know who will be first to get a monastery down. But relics seem to be pretty evenly spread. Maybe slightly closer to Sederhana, but pretty even. So Tribal's ahead by 1 villager. I'm curious to see if Tribal got Loom. Did not. And Sederhana did get Limb, so that explains why Sederhana's 1 villager behind. And Sederhana's actually ahead on resources collected, but a little bit more idle TC time. Alright, sheep is finished. They're all going toward the forage bushes. Got a lumber camp going up for Sederhana. The chicken's not milled yet. I'm curious to see how Tribal handles the chickens. Yeah, thanks for the link to randomize the conqueresses. I'll take a look at that. I think I've seen some people use that on stream before. Just didn't know where to find it. Let's see, we got 11 forage bush gatherers. 11 foragers. The fair number, we got then 4 lumberjacks plus 3 on straggler trees. So Sederhana was slightly ahead on resources, but Tribal's getting way ahead. If we take a look here. Yep, Tribal's jumping way ahead here. I was trying to remember, okay, 1080 hit points instead of 1800 like they used to. I think those hit points go back up to 1800 in Castle Age. Alright, looks like Tribal's caught up on villager numbers. Did Tribal get Loom? Yeah, so they're both the same right now. I think, and then like 1 more idle TC time for Sederhana, so they should be pretty even in villager numbers, but of course, Tribal's gathering is a lot more efficient. Still hasn't gone for the chickens. I'm curious if Tribal will go for them at this point. Maybe Tribal just ignores the chickens on chicken maps. So we got a second lumber camp going up on the same forest for Tribal, and a gold mining camp going up. And same for Sederhana. And Tribal going up to feudal, and Sederhana is still adding villagers. We got a whole bunch of chicken hunters. coming, but no mill to help them out. Can't afford a mill right now. Maybe we'll see if Sederhana adds one when they can afford it. But right now it looks like the farms are the focus. Might eat up all the wood, not allow for a second mill. Barracks going out for tribal. And I'm curious to see what kind of strategy tribal will go for. So we got an archer range. I can't remember if tribal uses the same build order on arena as Arabia. So we got a blacksmith. Oh, we got a mill finally. But something I've noticed is that deer seems to have pretty low priority. I don't know if they have more priority than farms or less, but Sederhana might just add farmers instead of adding more chicken hunters. Alright, so looks like tribal found Sederhana. Let's see, so yes, so both players have found each other. And I think both have just found the walls of the other player. Yep, exactly. Alright, so tribal is on the way to Castle Age, so we might... my guess is going to be crossbows. I can't remember tribal strategy. We got the first armor for archers. Yep, so we got an archer. Maybe we'll see a few more here coming. Horse collar for tribal. Wheelbarrow for Sederhana. Got a blacksmith down. And we got an archer range going down. And I think once this archer range goes up, then Sederhana will be able to advance up to Castle Age. But we'll see if that's quick enough. Yeah, tribal will be up to Castle Age in a couple seconds here. Alright, so we got Bosa, no crossbow yet. But got some... Are those archers... Looks like they formed a group here, but maybe not going out to the enemy yet. The third range going out for tribal. I think tribal needs to add another either siege or some melee unit of some kind. Otherwise you're not going to break through the walls. Alright, exploring the flank. Is that a scout going there? I think so. Kind of hard to explore the flank when the gate is in the way. When the walls are in the way. It's interesting. It looks like Sederhana is mostly caught up in economy. If we switch to just villager count, Sederhana... Okay, Sederhana was actually ahead in villagers for a while. But things are mostly even now that Sederhana's gone up to Castle Age. Second TC going down for tribal. Might just be attempting a boom at this point. Alright, crossbows coming for tribal. And we got a first monastery for Sederhana. Yeah, Sederhana's later to Castle Age, but it's the first monastery, so might be the first one to start gathering relics. Yep, we got a relic monk coming. And so far, tribal doesn't seem to be trying to take the relics at all, or stop Sederhana from grabbing the relics. So maybe we'll see Sederhana gather all of them up at this point. Alright, first monk coming out. We got a siege workshop going down for Sederhana. We got a lumber camp outside of the walls for Tribal. Oh, and Tribal's moving out with the crossbows. Let's see if they find... a monk here. So that monk I think will be safe. But these crossbows might find another monk. Okay, we got some bears. Lots of bears in the middle here. Alright, so we got some villagers that are not defended. And we got this monk. Let's see if this monk is going to go down. So Sederhana's got one relic, but monks better use this second gate unless they're gonna, or else they're gonna get sniped down by these crossbows. Now, if these crossbows were Saracens, they'd knock down this gate a lot quicker. Alright, got the scout helping out. Curious to see how many kills this bear will get. We got a light cav for Sederhana, but that goes down. We got an archer that also went down. And Sederhana going up for Imperial Age. What Sederhana really needs is a mangonel at this point, or a castle. All those other soldiers are just gonna die to the crossbows at this point. But I think what's going to happen first is that Tribal breaks through this gate. We've already got... Tribal's got 12 kills total, and 7 of those were villagers. Yeah, all those crossbows are just super dangerous. So at this point, Sederhana really needs a castle. Doesn't have the stone for it though, unfortunately. And so I think we might see Sederhana go up to Imperial Age, but then just collapse once those crossbows break in. We got a monk that's staying close, out of range. But that's just going to be one crossbow at a time going down from that monk. We need a whole bunch of monks coming out. So we got a second one coming, but that might still not be enough. Let's see, is this villager going to stay out of range? Oh, that monk is going to go down. Maybe? Oh, is that monk going to be safe? Oh, it's dead. And that gate is open. That might be the GG move at this point. That's kind of funny that Tribal continues to try and shoot it down. Forgot to update the score on capture age. Alright, so we got some relic gathering going down the south side here. But let's see, so we got one relic, so we come a second relic soon, I think. Yeah, down here. Oh no, we got one relic here. Looks like Tribal's getting 3 of them. Yep, so that 2 relics in, and we got the 3rd one right here. Crossbows continuing to shoot down archers. Sadly, I don't have the pro version of Capture Age to see how many they've killed. But in total, almost 60 kills here. and 37 villagers. Sederhana down to 23 pop. It's going to continue to go down, unfortunately. Ah, the scout is in, but not the skirmishers. Not much to comment on right now. We got a castle going up in the back. Sadly, it's not going to do much help back there. It's not going to defend very much, but I don't know if Sederhana could really build a castle in a good spot that those crossbows wouldn't shoot down. You'd probably have to like delete some of these farms in that house. I constructed right next to the TC, but I've only seen a few AIs be able to do that. Immortal, I remember for sure. I'm curious if there's some other AIs that can also build a defensive castle by the TC. Tribal going up to Imperial Age. The gate is down. I'm gonna speed this up here. Might call it pretty soon. Get to see the Turks' new castle. I don't know if we'll see any Janissaries this game. We got some capped rams. I think once this TC goes down, I'll call it. Yeah, this is not a trading map, so I think there might be some issues with the building construction rules that allow for more than one to be built. Probably using the enable new building system and not limited it properly with pending objects. Alright, that's GG. Tribal 1, Game 2. Let's view the statistics here. So we got villager numbers, resources collected, military population. Yeah, we can't do kills in Capture Age, unfortunately. Then here's the stats on DE.